Another really cool tool review for you today, and this is Bosch's GST 18 volt LIB cordless jigsaw. My name is Phil Edwards Carpenter, and let's take a nice little in-depth look at this power tool. So, Bosch Professional Power Tools, expert, professional, heavy duty, many things I love to see on a tool. I don't want to see any DIY, any light duty. I want to see nice, powerful, heavy duty stuff. I want to know that this tool is going to withstand all the pain that I put it through. And believe me, if you've seen me on site, I'm not very gentle with tools. And I've been using this for the best part of about 8-9 months now. Worked out how best this tool is used, what different applications this tool can be used for, all the little helpful stuff that you can find on the body of the tool, and my overall review of it. This is 18 volt. If you have a Bosch 18 volt battery, it will fit on here, and if you have a standard jigsaw blade, it's called an SDS, you can expect those to fully fit in the tool, no problem. Tool free as well, no silly Allen keys, just in, out, perfect. What can we see on the outside of this tool? We've got these really obvious red buttons that stick out on this D handle. What we have is a lock button and an unlock button. Quite simply put, you unlock it, the trigger is accessible, you lock it, and it is a fixed trigger and can't be used. Right now I've got no battery in it, but if you were to put the battery in, you can see there it works. Put it on lock mode, that's not going to work. So if you had this in a tool bag or you were carrying it, you haven't got to worry about it accidentally activating while you're using it. For the purpose of me being here right now, I'm going to keep that battery out because we are going to be talking about this tool. So, what other features can I see on the outside? Now, you may be thinking this is just a very generic jigsaw. There's nothing really spectacular that a jigsaw design can be put forward to make it like a really standout product. They are pretty simple tools. You pull the trigger, the blade goes wet, 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 wet through material and gives you a nice curvy cut. So with the jigsaw, what you would be mainly using this for is not straight cuts. If you wanted to be doing a straight cut, you'd use a plunge saw, circular saw, chop saw, table saw. This is for everything else, all those lovely curved scribes, waves and everything like that. This will perform that. We have got these openings, you can see just here. These are to get a lot of airflow around that motor, keep the motor cool. So it's almost like a self-circulating air conditioning system. It keeps things from overheating. It makes sure that if there were to be any dust that gets inside this, it gets pushed out of the body and stops it from clogging up. We have got this metal drop down section just here. That's so your hand can't get in the way of the blade. If you're holding it on the front here and you slip, no way your hand is going to get into that blade. I don't recommend holding it on the front, I never do. It's usually on the top or on the battery once it's in, or if I can have like my hand on the material, I can use that to cut freely. With this being a Bosch heavy duty tool, they've taken a lot of focus on things like vibration. There's some features in this tool that stop vibration from harming you and harming the tool. First things stops it from harming you. The shock from the vibrations of the reciprocating blade don't transfer as much as you think into the handle. If you were to be cutting through material and have, for example, your hand on the body and then your hand on the trigger, you'll notice a massive difference. Even though it's in a few inches apart, that vibration will deteriorate, and hopefully, depending on what material you're cutting, it could be like a really, really bouncy material. This will stop your hand from getting shock, vibration, white finger. You don't want any of that. Bosch are looking out for your hands because your hands are your money makers. Something else towards the vibration on here, you might be able to see it. This battery slot has got a spring section to it, so when this jigsaw is maybe under a lot of load, under a lot of pressure, bouncing around everywhere, it's not going to loosen any of those cables, any of these connectors. They're not going to get damaged. Your battery is going to be... That was my microphone. It's like a shock absorber, like a bit of suspension that you find on a car. So really, really clever design. What else do we have on here? We have got an LED light. And what I will do is put a battery in, and I'll just gently pull that trigger with it unlocked, safety. There we go. Nice LED light. Only activates when my finger is on that trigger. I'm pressing it so lightly right now that the light activates but the blade doesn't. A little bit more pressure, you see that blade starts to move. The light, it doesn't just illuminate your cutting area, it illuminates the area around where you'll be cutting, so you can see where your blade is going to be going into next while you're doing your work. Really clear vision as well for the material. You've got a clear eye line of where your blade is going against the material, so you haven't got any pull any stupid positions and angle it up or anything like that. As long as I can see the front part of the jigsaw, I can see where the blade is going to be going into the material. Moving on to the base of this product. So this tool is actually quite lightweight, and we can see from the materials they've used on this. This base right here is aluminium with a plastic shoe on it. This big wide shoe surface area, so you can keep your jigsaw nice and flat on the material. With it being plastic as well, not going to scuff or scratch anything. And I'm guessing in the future, if that does get damaged, you can replace this shoe rather than replacing the whole tool. So nice little feature with that. Still nice and smooth, and it's not going to cause any major grip on your material. This base also can bevel both directions, max out at 45 degrees in both sides, and you can do that with the Allen key provided. On the back of the tool here we have a little slot, pull that out, we have got an Allen key, and this base will bevel. If I loosen off that bolt just inside here, I can push it back and tilt it, and you can feel it's got a little locking section onto it. So if I wanted 45, I can go full 45, or 22.5, 0, and then so on that way. And I can lock it back in by pushing it forward, keeps it nice and flat. Do that little bolt back up, not over tightening it. Slot that Allen key back in. It's all very standard stuff. Nothing crazy futuristic features on this tool. It is as simple as you can get, with a few extra bits of spice in there, like the LED light and the anti-vibration features. So for the inside of this tool, for the motor, we have got a 18 volt brushless motor. Really nice and heavy duty, will stop itself from getting overheated. For the reciprocating amount, so we have like RPM for rotations per minute. This obviously doesn't have any rotations. This is like a linear pulse. So it's called a no load stroke rating. That basically means pull the trigger on full speed, and every time that blade comes out and back in again, that's 1. And that maxes out at 2,700 per minute. So really nice, fast blade, and you can control it with how much pressure you put on that trigger. If you want to have some start off slow, start slow. If you want to go full power, put that on full power, and you can expect to have that power for the motor. Now, I've been using this to cut through some scrap material, some tough material, some neat material, and I actually use this almost daily for scribing things like architraves and skirting, and I've never had a problem with this. This is light, it is narrow, and it's really versatile, so I can hold this, if I needed to, upside down and use my thumb on the trigger. I've done this a couple of times, don't recommend it, but it can be done that way if you need to, and it's pretty well balanced. Now, I haven't got a battery in it right now, but you can see it's tilting forward just a little bit. Put a battery in there, it's going to level itself out and keep yourself nice and balanced while you're working. So is there anything about this tool that I'm not impressed by? Nope. It's good. It's got everything that I expect it to have. Ball bearing wheel on the back of the blade to keep it nice and straight. We have got a pendulum switch. So just on the side here we have got a lever, and that all it's quite tough. It will go into 4 different modes. This is for the pendulum. So the pendulum on a jigsaw refers to how the blade reacts. If I want to have a clean cut or a fast cut. So a clean cut would be exactly precisely vertically. Now a speedy cut, like a faster cut, it would have a little scoop in it while it works, and you can change that to have a very minimal scoop, or even just even small amount of it pushing forward while it cuts. And depending on how you have that lever set, this blade will react to that. So if you have a new blade put in and you're maybe working with new materials, it's always good to do a couple of test cuts and work out which one works best. Now again, with this tool being used almost daily by myself, I have also dropped it almost daily, but the housing has got loads of really tough edges to it. Nice bump guards. It's a really solid construction, very little sharp edges on this, everything is rounded, nice and smooth, so if I am grabbing it out of my toolbox. I'm not gonna sort of jam my hand on anything sharp, or I'm gonna change any of the settings by accident. I'm not gonna pick this up and accidentally crank that pendulum switch over. So with this also being an 18-volt professional tool, you can use any of the older model Bosch 18-volt batteries or the newer 18-volt Pro Core batteries. I use the Pro Core myself. They last longer, they stay cooler, and they communicate really well with how the tool works, and you're not going to find it overheating while you're working or running out of power quickly. I could probably go through a 4 amp hour 18-volt battery for a day from doing loads of skirting, so really good battery usage on a tool like this. So yeah, my overall thought on the GST 18-volt LIB cordless jigsaw is positive, solid 10 out of 10. Nothing on this tool is wrong, nothing on this tool affects the way I work. So yeah, big thumbs up from me. If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe. So until the next video, see you later.